How's it, guys? Boeta Cassiem from Newlands Cricket desperately needs an operation for his eyesight. The operation costs about 10,000 rand. If there's any way you guys can help, please let me know. Hello and welcome to the Wild Protea. My name is Clinton John, and thanks once again for joining me, guys. Before I get into things, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, get those comments in. I'd love to hear from you guys, and also hit that notification button to get all the latest from the Wild Protea. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm trying to create the fan channel, so as many likes and shares as this video can get as possible, or obviously help to spread the word. What I'm trying to do is trying to create one space for South African fans to communicate, whether it be rugby, cricket, soccer, whatever you want to talk about, we can get on and chat. We just need the channel to grow and get more eyes on it, more people that want to comment and that sort of thing. Yeah, so straight into this week's sort of news. There's not much, going on in the way of sport, but I just thought I'd take a look at firstly some cricket with the CSA awards coming up soon. So I'll just go through some of the nominees and that sort of thing, and my sort of picks for the categories. So first and foremost, you've got Men's Cricket of the Year. Quinton de Kock, first name on the list there. 536 runs, 7 in Test matches. 536 runs, 7 matches at an average of 38. 450s and 100. Now the first thing that comes to mind there is an average of 38 and only 536 runs. Okay, yes, only 7 matches, but that's pretty abysmal for supposed to be one of the leading test nations. In ODI cricket, 13 matches, 442 runs, 30 at an average of 36. So also average not too great there, but he has been our saviour this season. T20 cricket, 8 matches, 339 runs at an average of 48. So T20 cricket, he did pretty well, 450s there, and 350s and 100 in the one-day format. So not setting the world alight by any stretch of the imagination, but by far and away the best South African batsman this season. Then the next nominee for Men's Cricket of the Year is Lungi Ngidi. He played 1 test match, he got no wickets. ODI matches, he's played 6, 13 wickets at an average of 19, not too bad. Having said that though, this was sort of during his comeback from injury, so I don't think he was quite at his best for the one days. T20 matches, he played 6 matches, took 13 wickets, an average of 18.7. Again with Lungi, I think this is a comeback performance. I don't think this is indicative of what you're going to see from him down the line. I think he's a better bowler than what he showed so far. And then the other nominee for Men's Cricket of the Year is Heinrich Nokia. Now, Nokia, it has to be said, he's, just before I get into his bowling sort of stats, his night watchman duties will obviously play a bit in the minds of the people making the votes here. Showed a lot of character, showed a lot of heart when he went out to bat in those situations. And he's got to be commended on that front as well. So it's not just, it's the intangibles that you look for sometimes in the Men's Cricket of the Year as well. Not that my vote would go for Heinrich, but yeah. So this is his bowling stats. 19 wickets at an average of 35 in test matches. Then in ODIs, 3 matches, 6 wickets at an average of 22. And then T20 matches, 3 matches, 2 wickets, an average of 48.5. So as you can see, they also, a small body of work, not really much to compare it to either, because before he came into the side he was injured as well, and he did play a bit but not a lot. So still very much making his way in international cricket. So I don't think so. For me, I mean, it's a no-brainer there. It's got to go to Quinton. He's been the standout performer for the Proteas this season, at least, well, this shortened sort of season. And then you go to next category is Men's Test Cricketer of the Year. Nominees here, obviously Quinton de Kock. I've already stats already. KG Rabada, 6 matches, 21 wickets, an average of 32. Which, I mean, for KG, if you look at his career averages around 22, 23, so it's been a little bit of a lean season, if you could call it that, but only 6 test matches played, so I don't think you can really read much into that. And then Heinrich Nokia, obviously the 19 wickets at 35, has been nominated as well. For me, again, Quinton's probably going to take this one. Yeah, KG not up to his usual standards, and like I said, Nokia just making his way in Test cricket. Like I said with Nokia, though, he's got the batting, the night watchman, and that heart on his sleeve, those sort of things going for him, those emotional sort of pleas going for him. But I just don't see anyone not voting for Quinton de Kock. And then ODI Men's Cricket of the Year, you've got Quinton de Kock, Lungi Ngidi, and Heinrich Klaasen. Now, I've obviously read Quinton de Kock and Lungi Ngidi's one-day stats, so I'll just read Klaasen's one-day stats here. 3 matches, 242 runs, at an average of 105, 250s and 100. So not bad there for Heinrich Klaasen. Again, though, Quinton was the standout performer in ODIs. Look, I mean, a lot of... Quinton's been the standout performer this season, this year for the Proteas. It hasn't been a great year. I mean, we sort of struggled against England, and our struggles sort of looking to continue. We haven't settled a Test side yet. We haven't really settled a one-day side yet. We haven't settled the T20 side that was supposed to be going to Australia. Even though there were some good steps in it, I think in the T20 format, but just not where we should be at the moment. But Quinny de Kock is the one shining light at the moment. If he can still start to score runs consistently, get those averages up to around 50 and above, I think he can do that. And but as far as the awards go, I think Quinny's going to have a clean sweep there. And then the Ladies Cricketer of the Year. Now, I must admit I haven't watched much ladies cricket. I did watch most of the games in the World Cup, and I thought we could have actually maybe won the World Cup. Even that rain-shortened game. I think if that rain-shortened game hadn't have come then, maybe we would have won that game. Also I thought that a few mistakes were made. I thought Laura Volvaert should have been in at 3 or 4, or even open the batting. You got one of the cleanest strikers of the cricket ball in the world in the ladies format, Laura Volvaert, and you keeping her back for some reason. I would have let her go up front and told her, listen, go hard, and we'll see what happens. And she was in such great form that it wasn't a situation where you're sending her out and hoping that she was going to do well. You kind of got the inkling that when she got the hold of the attack, that nothing was going to stop her. And in the end, it was just too many runs that she needed to get on her own. So anyway, the Ladies Cricket of the Year, Laura Volvaert, in ODIs, she had 6 ODIs, 248 runs, an average of 49.5. And then in T20 matches, 12 matches, 216 runs at an average of 30.8. So you can see there, an average of 30 in the T20s and an average of 9 on 50 in ODIs. She was pretty good this season. Then you've got Shabnim Ismail, who played 6 ODI matches, took 6 wickets, an average of 25. And then obviously the 12 T20 matches, 14 wickets, an average of 16. She's one of the ones that goes a little bit under the radar, quite an experienced campaigner, does her job sort of day in and day out. I'm glad she's getting a shot here. And then you've got Lizelle Lee, who played also six matches, 210 runs at an average of 35. That's ODIs. And then T20 matches, 12 matches, 306 runs at an average of 25. My favorite here has to be, I think, Laura Volvaert. I think, if you look at her averages, consistently above the rest of them. Even though Ismail's a bowler, I just don't think that her overall impact was as great as Laura's. So my vote would go for Laura in this situation. Right, so that's the CSA awards pretty much covered, except for obviously fans cricket of the year. Now that is where you guys get a say, or we get a say in who is the fans cricketer of the year. I've seen some of the voting on Twitter, and there's a lot of names being mentioned, but yeah, I don't know who my fans cricketer of the year would be. I'd probably go for Quinton de Kock, just because he's been the most outstanding performer for me anyway, and he's probably one of my favorite players at the moment. Although my favorite player at the moment is probably KG Rabada. So let me know who your guys' favorite players are, and you know, guys, get voting, because that's the only way you're going to get your guy or girl to the top. And then, so sticking with cricket now, we're just going to have a little look at the current CSA situation, Cricket South Africa situation. Now, CEO Thabang Moreau, as you know, he has been suspended for the last 6 months, and his suspension ended the other day in controversy. There was speculation that he was denied entry into the offices at CSA. This, however, turned out to be false, but the accusations, you know, still arose. So, you know, where there's smoke, there's a fire. You know, and during the 6-month period, Cricket South Africa have failed to charge him with anything. So he thought, okay, well, I'm gonna come back then. Since then, they've then had a meeting or whatever. They've done a board meeting, and then they've now extended his suspension until the end of June. So they've got till the end of June to charge him with something, and then the whole situation will be obviously looked at again. Now, from a CSA standpoint, just doesn't look very good. You know, you've got the interim CEO there, Jacques Falls, who's trying to do his job. Then, you know, the actual CEO is coming back, but you haven't charged him yet. So there's a whole lot of controversy going on now within CSA. Urgent board meetings, I'm guessing. I'm guessing the COVID-19 situation hasn't helped matters. But I'm sure they've been having meetings behind closed doors or you know, Skype or Zoom calls or whatever. I just think this thing needs to be sorted out ASAP. I'm not sure how it affects guys on the field. I should imagine that, you know, most guys it wouldn't affect on the field, but I'm pretty sure, you know, the coaches, the captains, and the selectors are all involved. Not involved in the behind the scenes, but they know what's going on behind the scenes, and it must be difficult to concentrate on what's going on the field and do your job properly when the CEO of your company per se isn't there. He's been suspended. Now you've got an interim guy coming in who's got different ideas, different ways of doing things. And then if Thabang Moreau is going to come back, he's going to want his way of doing things again. So it's just a mess at the moment in Cricket South Africa, and hopefully it can be sorted out as soon as possible, so that we can concentrate on, you know, developing cricketers and becoming the best cricket nation in the world again. I believe we've got the talent. We just need some direction. We need someone to steer the ship in the right direction. So yeah, that's enough for cricket for today. So we're just moving on to just a little bit of rugby news that I've picked up over the last week or so. So South Africa and Japan have been invited, I think, or there's talks that there's going to be some sort of festival of rugby happening in the Northern Hemisphere around the time that the Six Nations would go ahead. That's November to February. So what they're talking about is having South Africa and Japan in with the Six Nations, and then having 2 pools, and then obviously a semi-final, final, some sort of tournament format over those months to get the rugby guys going again. They have said though that the priority is for the Southern Hemisphere teams to tour to Europe in that November time. So what they want to do is they want to have the tours, but if they can't have the tours, they want to try and get Japan and South Africa over to play this sort of festival of rugby kind of vibe. I don't know what it all entails, but it's just talks at the moment. And then SA Rugby had a national audit and there was a 22% increase in its transformation target. So in other words, they hit their target. I think it was 59% to 81% there. And this was the first year of the Strategic Transformation Development Plan. Now that plan is a plan that's set in place until 2030, I believe. And in this year, they've managed to, in the areas that they've specified that needs transformation, they've in 47 of those, they've identified 47 areas that they need to address in terms of transformation in the sport. And they've managed to get positive outcomes in 38 out of 47 of those areas, which I think is a good step in the right direction. As far as transformation goes. Now, not everyone agrees on transformation, and my stance is that transformation is an important step. These people have missed out for too many years to count, and I get that you always want the right people to be in the right positions and so on and so forth. However, transformation has to start somewhere, and it has to start at all levels, not just, I've seen people say, you need to start it at grassroots level, and, so that the professional sport doesn't get tainted, or whatever your reason may be. But I think it's got to be from every single level, because, the little guys need older guys to look up to. And, the more black heroes we have in cricket, rugby, soccer, whatever sport, they need those heroes to inspire more kids, and to inspire those kids to do something in the sport of their choice, So I think transformation is really important, and I'm glad that they're hitting all their targets, because the sooner we can get a more fair situation for everyone is, I think, more advantageous to South African sport in general. And then last but not least, rugby in South Africa is looking to start up again in August, or perhaps sooner. So there's going to be some sort of, like New Zealand had their own Super Rugby competition, there'll be some sort of franchise competition that we're going to roll out in probably August, or maybe before then. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'm not sure the format yet. They haven't really said much about it, but they said they want to look to start up in August or maybe sooner. I know originally the government only wanted rugby to start after lockdown level 1, but they have got the go ahead now to start training and stuff like that. So hopefully sooner than August. Hopefully July we can get some, maybe towards the end of July we can get some rugby. Hopefully, because we have to now pick New Zealand sides and Australian sides and watch them, because Australia's also starting up soon. But yeah, that's just just my little 2 cents there on what's happening in South African sport at the moment. Right, that is all I have for you guys today. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification button to get all the latest from the Wild Protea. Guys, get your comments in. I want to hear what you think about the CSA situation, Tabang Moreau. Do you think, Jacques Fall should get the job full time? What do you think of the transformation? What's your views on transformation in South African sport? And then also, how excited are you to see rugby guys back on the field again? I know personally I'm hell of excited to see my world champion Springboks back on that rugby field. And the positive thing is that they're all going to be, most 90% of them will be 100% fit. So we're going to get to see them going at full tilt again. So get those comments in, guys. I'd love to hear from you, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Have a good one.